to the fifth question in the math series. Our fifth question is that check if a number can be expressed in the form of x power y. So the input is going to be some number, okay. Suppose that if it is 8, okay, the output is going to be true. How? Because 8 can be written in the form of x power y. That is, it can be written in the form of 2 power 3, right? So yes, it can be written, therefore the output is true. Suppose that if the input is 49, the output is again true, because you can write 49 as 7 square, right? That is in the form of x power y. So this one is true. But if at all the input is going to be something like 47, you can't write it of the form x power y. So the output is going to be false. So this is a problem statement. Given a number, you will have to check if the given number can be written in the form of x power y. If it can be written, you return true. If it cannot be written, you return a false. Okay, so this is a problem statement. What is a thing that strikes your mind when you see such question is that you must learn, you must get logarithm into your mind, because any question of the form x power y, or any power type of question, just spare a minute to check if it's a logarithm question, okay. Just think, why am I telling it's logarithm? Okay, we know that 10 square is 100, okay. So log of 100 to the base 10 is 2. This is what we know. So to write it in variable format, x power y is n, okay. So log of n to the base x is going to be y, okay. So I will have to, in this question, I will have to check if the number n that is given as input, you see the number n that is given as input, if it can be written of the form x power y, okay. So what can I possibly do? What I can do is that I can check this one. I know log n, okay. I can put in different values of x and see if y is a whole number or not. I'm not sure if you got it right, but as I proceed on, you will understand it even better, okay. So what I mean to tell you is that this x power y is there, right? What is the maximum value that this x can actually take? Just give it a guess, no? Let's take the instance of 49, okay. What is the maximum thing it can take is that it can be the square root of the number. This x can be the square root of the number, and this y can be 2 at max. That is a possible value, that is the highest value that you can actually have. For example, 7 square, okay, this can at most, its minimal value will be 2. That is, y's minimal value will always be 2. And x minimal value will always be the square root of the number, right? The in x power y, for a number to be written of the form x power y, I am trying to find out the base values of x and y, okay. The minimal value of y can be 2. That is the minimal value of y. And the maximal value of x must be the square root of n, okay. So this is our n conditions. You can have a lot of values other than this, okay, but this is the base for it, okay. That is, for example, if I have 16, okay, 16 can be written as 4 square. It can also be written as 2 power 4, okay. So there are two ways of writing it. This is also of the form x power y, this is also of the form x power y. But what is the base condition you see here? The base condition is this, that is, the y can take a minimal value of 2 only, and the x can take a maximum value of root n only. So this is our base condition. So based on this base condition only, we will be writing the program, okay. So now moving on to the program. What is our return type? Our return type is either true or it's going to be false, which is boolean. So bool, I will have to check if it can be written in the form of power. It is in the form of power, okay, and int n. What is our int n? The number that we get as input from the user, okay. So what I do is that if n, first base condition is very important. If n is less than or equal to 1, let me return 1 only. That is, 1 is always can be written as 1 power anything, okay. That is, it is always true, right? This is written true, sorry, written true. 1 power anything, 1 can be written as the power of anything. So I am returning true. if n is equal to 1, if n is equal to 1, I'll return true, because 1 can be written as a power of anything. 1 power anything is 1 only, okay, is 1 only. Next, so for other numbers other than 1, okay, if n is something greater than 1, it can be 2 or anything. We saw that x can take a maximum value of root n, right? So x minimal value is 2 starting till root n. Okay, so let me run a for loop. For int some I is equal to 2, I must be less than or equal to square root of n. Okay, square root of n I plus plus, because this x can take the maximum value of root n. Okay, and next what I do is that the next step that I'm going to write is very important. What I do is I take a float. Okay, float t is equal to log of 2 divided by log 2 of I. So what have I done in this step is that, as I had already explained this logarithm part, right, what I am doing is, let me explain to you now. Log of n to the base I is p. So I power p is n. This I is a variable that I have written here, okay. What I already told you is that this I is same as x, okay. So the x value can take a maximum value of root n. So I am running from 2 till root n, okay. So this I can take the value from 2 till root n, okay. So x value is defined, n we already know, we got it from the user. So now what we don't know is if this p is a whole number or not, right? If we don't know the value of p, so we are trying to find the value of p. So how will I find the value of p? We can find the value of p using this logarithm function. P is equal to what? Log of n to the base I. How can this log of n to the base I be written? Log of n to the base 2 divided by log of I to the base 2, right? So, sorry, yeah. So this is what I have written here, okay. This is the same, right? So this is what I have written here. I am trying to find the value of p. Why have I given it as a value of float is that we want it of the form x power y, and both this x and y must be integers, right? But I'm getting the value of float, and I'm checking if the ceiling of the number p and the floor of p is the same. If it's going to be a float variable, no, it will not be same. Only when you get a whole number, the ceil of p and the floor of p will be same. So if at all it is same and the value of p is greater than 1, then you can tell yes, it is of the form x power y. I return 2. Else I go out and I return, I have traversed everything from 2 up till the square root of n. That is the maximum value that x can take, and there was no other value of y that I got. Y is p here, okay. So then if I have completed this entire block, I have no other option but to return false. That is, it can't be written of the form x power y. So this is question check if a number can be expressed in the form of x power y. Let me give a small recap of what we have done so far. So to find out if a number can be written of the form x power y, we are using the concept of logarithms here. So we find out that x and y, the maximum value x can take is going to be square root of n, okay. From the example here, 16 can be written as 4 square, can also be written as 2 power 4. But what is the maximum value this x can take is going to be the square root of this n, and the minimum value that y can actually take is 2, okay. So if you go through a lot of examples, you can evidently see that this is the case. This is going to be a base condition. So using a base condition, we proceed further. We run a for loop for finding the value of x, okay. So log of n to the base I is equal to p, so n is equal to I power p. So this I is x and the p is going to be a y, okay. So we run a for loop to find the value of this x here, okay. So I know the value of n that is given by the user, and now I am traversing a for loop for this x. So when there are two variables are given and only one is unknown, one unknown, one equation, you can obviously find the answer. But how? We are using logarithms to find the answer, okay. So I can find the value of p using this formula, right? So p is equal to log of n to the base I. To find log of n to the base I can make the base same. So log of n to the base 2 divided by log of I to the base 2. I store the value of this in the float variable, and if the float is going to be an integer, how do I check if it's an integer? That is, if ceiling of the float number and the floor of the float number is the same and is also greater than 1, which means the given number n can be written in the form of x power y. That is, a p is a whole number. Okay, I can write it of the form x power p, where x and p are both integers. So then this is going to deliver me some n, because power can't be a fraction, right? A decimal number. So that's what I'm checking it in this step. So if that is true, then of course yes, you can write it of the form x power y. Else, if you get nothing here, that is, the statement is not written here, then there's no other option but you have to come out of the loop and then written false, right? So with that, we have completed how to check if a number can be expressed in the form of x power y. So see you in the next question. Good day to you. Bye.